Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video a little bit later because Hearthstone teased yesterday and it has been made official. The newest Hearthstone expansion, WHIZBANG'S Workshop. By the way, look at that art, freaking phenomenal. This expansion will be launching on March 19th and a bunch of cards were revealed. A new ZILLIAX, a new legendary to play for free in Hearthstone right now, and pay-to-win mechanics in Hearthstone. We'll talk about that in a video later today, going over the patch notes. Patch notes just dropped today, but I wanted to cover the fun stuff first and review all the new cards, announce our big giveaway where I'm giving away 2 regular pre-orders, 2 mega bundles out of my pocket. To enter that giveaway, like and comment in this video, whatever you want. Be subscribed to the channel. For every 1,000 subs we hit, until all the cards are revealed, I will add another mega bundle for this expansion. So hit that sub button, make me go baroque. So let's take a look at the cards and then we'll go over patch note stuff again in another video later today. So stay tuned for that. First, we have the Death Knight spell here, the Lesser Spinal Spellstone, the return of the Spellstone mechanic. We already saw a few of them come into the core set, where it's 1 mana, it has a blood rune on it, given undead in your hand, so a hand buff, +1/+1, gain 5 corpses to upgrade. So this needs to be in your hand to be upgraded, and you've gained 5 corpses, it'll upgrade to give an undead in your hand +2/+2, and then you upgrade it again, give an undead in your hand +3/+3. This can hit, like, you know, No Muncher, which is staying around, and basically any card that kind of can copy itself for Druid and Swarm Guard would work pretty well. That's staying. Those type of cards. I don't know if the Malignant Horror is sticking around, but any card like that, a Rush, Charge Minion, well, I don't think this is a Charge Undead, but it only hits an Undead, feels very niche and narrow. I'm not sure if this sees a lot of play, but it is a Rainbow capable card, and Rainbow got a huge buff with all the rune changes in the core set. I'm leaning towards a 2 out of 5 in Standard and Wild. I don't think it makes the cut, but the fact it's so cheap and not that hard to upgrade, I think it could see maybe fringe play, but I'm a bit on the fence about it. Next, we have the Amateur Puppeteer, a 5 mana 2/6 undead with blood and holy root, geez, and it's got the brand new keyword from this expansion, miniaturize, and it has taunt and death rattle, give undead in your hand +2/+2. What does miniaturize do? Well, you get a 1 mana version of this, a 1 mana 1/1 version, and it'll do the exact same effect. All miniaturized cards give you a mini version of it. They're all 1 mana 1/1s, and it's not temporary or anything. It's just added to your hand, so it's like free value, free hand buff. And again, they're going for this hand buff Rainbow Death Knight by the looks of it. Again, not bad, I don't think, but it's really hard to theorize what's gonna go work with this. I see potential with it, especially like it's 6 mana, buff something +2/+2, or 6 mana +4/+4, 2 different versions, right? I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5 in Standard. I just feel like something's gotta work with this, and a 2 out of 5 in Wild, but a really kind of interesting mechanic. And we've seen hand buff mechanics in Death Knight before, but it's never really panned out, but maybe this will be the thing that does the trick. Next, we have another miniaturized card. This one is for Druid, and it's another dragon for those dragon druids. A 4 mana 2/4. Not the best stats, miniaturize again, but you get choose 1, gain plus spell damage +1, or draw a spell. And of course, if you can combine this, you'll get both effects. So this could be a 4 mana 2/4, draw a card, like good old, what was that, Gnomish Inventor or something like that. And then miniaturize the 1 mana version. Again, you can gain spell damage or draw a spell. There's also just possibilities of doing like a spell damage type of thing. Swipe is now in the core set, which is very relevant. You save like the little miniaturize with Swipe. That could be a pretty good AoE. Work with the new spellstones in the core set. I wouldn't sleep on the card. These cards seem very flexible for the fact that, yeah, I played a 4 mana draw card, but then I get a 1 mana draw card, or spell damage flexibility as well. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 in Standard, 2 out of 5 in Wild, but again, I just think it's flexible enough, and you know, that you can use that for, and plus it's got the dragon tag, which can go into those decks. Next, we have one of the coolest cards ever, the first ever in Hearthstone history that I'm aware of, custom card. You get to make your own card. It is ZILLIAX Deluxe 3000. While building your deck, customize your very own ZILLIAX Deluxe 3000. How does this work? Well, it's similar to like ETC where you have like your band you're building. You get to pick 2 modules and combine them. So you have the recursive module, a 1-mana 1/1 module, Death Rattle. Shuffle this into your deck so you can just always have ZILLIAX die and then go away and come back. So if you have this, it'll combine with another module. You could combine that with Haywire module, a 2-mana 4/4. So if you combine it with the prior one, you'll have a 3-mana 5/5 with both of these effects. That's how it works. You get to pick 2 modules, put them together, and they all have like their own, apparently they have their own unique artwork and stuff. It's pretty crazy and rad card. It says at the end of your turn, deal 3 damage to your hero. Again, you're getting a lot of stats, but you're self-damaging, but maybe in Warlock that could be good. Get a Molten Giant out sooner. You know, self-damaging can be all right. There's also the Power module, 2-mana 1/3. At the start of your turn, double this minion's attack. So if you pick this module, it keeps sticking around. It keeps doubling up. They got to kill it. So it's at the start. It's got to survive for a turn. No idea how that usually doesn't work out very well, but you never know. The Pylon module, a 3-mana 2/2. Your other minions have +1/+1. So like Stormwind Champion, you can slap it onto this mech as well. And you have the Virus module, a 3-mana 1/3 stealth, elusive, so can't be targeted by hero powers or spells, poisonous, and reborn. So if you put the one where it shuffles into your deck, it'll come back with that Death Rattle. You could shuffle 2 ZILLIAXs into your deck with all these effects, right? And then you have Twin module, 4-mana 3/3 Battle Cry. Summon a copy of this, so you could get a 5-mana 4/4. Both copies go into your deck, and then you play those, and those copies go into your deck, right? So there's a lot of different options here. The Ticking module, 4-mana 1/3, costs 1 less for each minion in play, so you can discount this a la like the Sea Giant type of mana cheat. You have the Perfect module, the 5-mana 3/2 Divine Shield, Taunt, Lifesteal, and Rush. That's just old ZILLIAX. It's a literal power creep on top of it because you can just slap another module on top of it. So really crazy card, really unique. There's tons of different things you can try and do with it. Who knows what'll be that great with it, what synergies will work. I'm giving it a 5. Just because something's got to work that's busted, plus it's just one of the coolest cards ever. So I'm gonna give it a 5 in standard. I'll give it a 3 in wild. Summoning a copy of this, maybe like Shutterwalk shenanigans, you might have to look out for that. I don't know. So yeah, really, really cool card. Speaking of that, we have the Windup Musician, a neutral minion, 6-mana 5/5. Battle Cry, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions, trade to upgrade. So every time you trade this in, it'll deal 2, 3, 4, right? It keeps upgrading. It's a neutral AoE, and typically trading is just not that bad. You shuffle through your deck. It's neutral AoE. I can't rate this very low. I think it'll see play, whether it's a Druid deck. You know, the classes that typically struggle to clear boards. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 in standard. 3 out of 5 in wild. Well, it's wild. It's way too slow. It's 6 mana. I'll give it a 2 in wild, but I do think that this could pop up in the standard meta. Next, we have the free legendary that you can log in and play right now. The Caulifero? I don't know, I'm butchering it. The Artist, 8 mana, 6/5 elemental. Yikes, what is that? Battle Cry, draw a minion, transform all other friendly minions into copies of it. So you got a full board, you play this card, and you draw Ragnaros. Everything turns into a Ragnaros. You play wild, play Elwyn Boars or like Mogu Cultists or whatever. You can get some crazy rolls on it. I don't know if this is any good. It feels kind of bad at 8 mana and you gotta have other stuff on the board. I feel like Druid of all things is the one to break this because they could like Eonar refresh and then Caulifero and then maybe hit more Eonars. I don't know because they could shatter it and all that. But overall, pretty crazy card. It's free. We'll be able to try it out today. And I'm gonna rate it anyways right now. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. It's got potential for scams, and a 2 out of 5 in wild because even with the combos I mentioned that are probably good in wild are way too slow. Next, we have the card we'll be talking about later that's actually playable if you pre-order. Early access card, the Corridor Sleeper, a 1-mana 3/5 beast, starts dormant after 7 minions die, awakens. So it's like the old Corridor Creeper meme, right? It was a sleeper. We didn't know how broken it would be. So yeah, after 7 minions, any minions, it doesn't have to be friendly, die, you just get a 3/5. It doesn't have rush, taunt, it's just stats. I think this probably would go into like a Rainbow DK that's like likes to kill off a bunch of stuff. Then they have a 1-mana 3/5 active later in the game. But it's a horrible top deck. And again, yeah, it starts dormant, right? It's not like it's getting discounted in your hand. I don't think the card's that good. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 in Standard and Wild, but I'm sleeping on it. I'm going to sleep on it historically. That's worked out well for these cards. But yeah, you can actually play this card early if you spend money. We'll talk about that again in the patch notes video. Next, we have the Nesting Golem, a 4-mana 3/3 undead, neutral undead, death rattle. Resummon this with -1/-1. It's Rattlegore, but way worse and smaller. But yeah, you'll get a 4/3. It starts as a 4/3, you'll get a 3/2, a 2/1, and then it dies because it can't have 0 health. Yeah, throwback to Rattlegore, but again, just stats. Maybe it would work pretty well in where you're trying to get corpses in DK. That's where I'm thinking it's an undead. You get multiple layers to it, but I still think they probably have better stuff to do. I will give it a 2 out of 5 in Standard and Wild. We have the Tigris Plushy, a 3-mana 3/2 beast for Paladin, miniaturize, rush, lifesteal, divine shield. So that's a lot of healing there, or especially if you have like a aura up or anything like that. And it's also got the beast tag, and then you get a 1-mana version, which you could buff up as well. So overall, like 4 mana for healing and all that. I feel like this is a Reno Paladin card in particular. It could be an aggressive card too. The Divine Shield could be annoying. It's just not like super aggressively stated, but the Rush, Lifesteal, really solid card. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 in Standard and a 3 out of 5 in Wild. I could see the Paladin decks, especially like the Holy Wrath decks that just want to stay alive. This can help there. So I actually can see this seeing play in Wild. We have a Paladin Legendary Toy Captain Tareem, a 5-mana 3/7 miniaturized taunt battle cry. Set a minion's attack and health to this minions. So basically it'll turn into a 3/7. You might be buffing your opponent's stuff, or more likely your own thing, to be a 3/7. Kind of a throwback to Tareem, which made everything 3/3s. But when you think about this and it miniaturizes and you get that 1-mana 1/1 version, you can neutralize a giant threat. You can make that a card into something much smaller. So you could use the first version like proactively, the second version defensively, and for 5 mana, that's just a really solid card, I think. I don't know. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 in Standard. Again, I could see Reno decks running it. I could see aggressive decks running it. Just seems like a really solid card. And again, 3 out of 5 in Wild. I think the Reno strategies, Reno Paladin's playable. It's a playable deck, and I think this kind of fits in there. I think it's not too bad at all. We have incredible value. 3 mana Shaman spell, I believe. That looks Shaman to be. Discover a 4-cost minion, set its attack and health to 7. You get a 4-mana 7/7 that you have to invest 3 mana to get. So is that good? I don't know. You hit that guy that keeps getting smaller. I guess that's good. I think it would work with that. But overall, I don't know if you want to really invest. You're spending a lot of mana to buff a 4-drop by not a lot, really, right? Average 4-drops like 4/5, 4/4 these days. You're getting some stats on it, but you have to spend 3 mana to do it. I'll give it a 2 out of 5 in Wild, or 2 out of 5 in Standard, a 1 in Wild. It's like super duper slow. Warrior gets a new Boom Legendary. They've had quite a few now. They had the Bomb one, the Hero card one. Now they get Inventor Boom, an 8-mana 7/7 battle cry. Resurrect 2 friendly mechs that cost 5 or more. They immediately attack random enemies. So build your deck specifically around to get some really large mechs, right? Get those back. In Wild, you got Iron Juggernaut, and shuffle some more mines in there. And they don't die, right? They just attack. This can go face. It doesn't have to be just minions. So you're just looking at getting some big mechs. I'm assuming we'll get some more mechs this set that could really synergize with that. And that could just be a giant stat bomb, possible OTK bomb. And because you have Bran in the game with double battle cries, if you're playing this in a Reno deck, you can bring the 4 back, right? It'll do it twice. So look out for that. I think we need more cards to properly evaluate this. but I am gonna say initial power level seems really strong. Even if it is 8 mana, that just could be a lot of damage depending on how you build it and what mechs come out. I'll give it a 4 to 5 in standard. I'll give it an optimistic 3 in wild, just for that Iron Juggernaut synergy. And you got like Foe Reaper and you got like pretty crazy mechs in wild as well. And speaking of mechs, well, we got one right here. Fireworker, a 5 mana, 5/5 mech. Death Rattle, summon 2 1/1 boom bots. Warning, bots may explode. Just the Dr. Boom boom bot. So it's not proactive like classic Dr. Boom, but you get a mech, they get boom bots, and if you resummon this and then this dies after attacking, those boom bots will come onto the board as well, and the boom bots don't cost 5 or more, so they won't come back. So decent card. I feel like it only really goes with this legendary, because otherwise it's just really slow. I still don't think it probably makes the cut. I'll give it a 2 out of 5 in standard and wild, but the flavor is pretty sweet. So that's all the cards revealed so far. We're gonna be covering all the reveals throughout the entire expansion cycle. Stay tuned for that. Enter that giveaway. Be sub to the channel and tune in a little bit later. We'll talk about the patch notes, everything that comes with it. And yes, pay to win mechanics have actually really come into Hearthstone, and I don't know how I feel about it. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.